Hi everyone, and welcome back to Belinda's DIYs. If this is your first time here, I want to welcome you. I hope that you stick around long enough so that you can subscribe to my channel. In this channel, you're going to see a lot of easy and inexpensive DIYs for your home and also seasonal crafts. So if this is something that appeals to you, please subscribe and also hit the bell icon right there in the corner so that you can be notified every time that I upload a new video. So I just want to say that I am beyond thrilled. Thank you so much, everyone. I have reached 100,000 subscribers. I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would ever reach that many subscribers, but it happened because of you. I felt like starting a YouTube channel at my age was kind of crazy and exciting at the same time. I started with this channel simply because I needed an outlet and something to do because my husband and I are empty nesters. And so I needed some time to fill my day. I've always loved to do crafts and do home decor. So I figured that I would start a channel and just start putting my crafts out there. And lo and behold, people really started to like them. And that really shocked me because I thought only I liked them. But like I said, this started off as just a hobby and just doing it for the fun and filling my time, and never did I ever think that I would get to 100,000 subscribers. But it is because of you, and I am so grateful and so humbled, and I just thank you, a million thank yous from the bottom of my heart. And I hope that you continue watching my videos and that I'm able to put out there content that you all really like. So once again, thank you, and thank you. So in this video, I'm going to be creating 10 Christmas tree ornaments. And I think, like I always say, I think that they came out beautiful. So you have a range of some that look kind of chic and elegant, and then you have your traditional ornaments. But either way, I think that they all turned out beautiful, and I hope that you get inspired to create your own Christmas tree ornaments. Now, I had been wanting to do a video like this since last year, and I never got around, but I figured this year that I would, and this was my to-do list, so I did it. I hope that you like them. Please comment down below and let me know which is your favorite. I would love to hear from you because I do read each of your comments. I would love it if you would also join my social media. I'm going to go ahead and link them down below in the description box. I usually first post my DIYs on my social media before I even create the video. So if you want to see what's coming up in my videos, so please consider to subscribe to my social media. That way you're the first to know as to what's going to be coming up on YouTube. So enough being said, let's go ahead and get started. I like to start off with the easiest DIY first. So in this one, I'm going to be using this holiday cookie cutters, and these were only $1, and I found these at Dollar General. So what I'm going to do is create some ornaments using these cookie cutters. For the first cookie cutter, I'm going to be using this ribbon, and this is a very pretty ribbon. It's kind of thick, so it's going to work perfect for a backing for my Christmas tree ornament, and I'm going to be using this gingerbread boy. So as you can see, I've placed it over my ribbon, and what I'm going to do now is just hot glue the back side of the cookie cutter, and then place it over my ribbon. And then I'm just going to cut around the cookie cutter. There was some areas where the hot glue didn't adhere to the ribbon, so I'm just going back and adding some more hot glue. In some areas, I did use a box cutter. Using that same ribbon, I'm just going to cut it in half, and I'm going to just create a hanger for my ornament. And this first ornament is complete. For this next ornament, I'm going to be using this scrap paper that I've had already for a while. And I'm going to be using now the Christmas tree. And I'm going to do the same steps as I did with the gingerbread by adding some hot glue to the back side of the Christmas tree and then placing it over my paper and then cutting around the paper. For this ornament, I'm going to be using some of these vase fillers to put around my tree. And I'm going to be using some white and silver of the little vase fillers. For this ornament, I'm going to be using this ribbon for a hanger. And then lastly, I added one little ball there to the top of my Christmas tree. For this third DIY, I'm going to be using these wood letters, and these come from a board that I have that you just insert the letters to spell out any sayings that you might like. Now this, I believe I purchased at Target last year. So I'm going to be using these letters to spell out joy, and then also feliz, which is the translation in Spanish for joy. So I'm going to be using this ribbon here, and this came from Dollar Tree, and all I'm going to do is place those words on this ribbon. I'm just going to hot glue them straight onto the ribbon. So I'm going to start off with the word joy first. Now that I've placed my blocks where I want them to be, I'm just going to cut off the excess ribbon. And all I'm going to do is just add some hot glue directly on the ribbon and then place my block letters. And just to reinforce the block letters, I'm going to add some hot glue on the back side, only because this ribbon has mesh down the center. Next, I'm just going to fold the top of the ribbon down. And once again, I'll be using some more vase fillers. So what I'm going to do is just add some of those little balls to the top of my ornament. I'll be adding 3 of them. Next, I'll be adding some of this ribbon, and it has some elastic to it. And I'm just going to cut a small piece and then just hot glue it to the top of the first ball. And I went ahead and I trimmed off some more of that ribbon down on the bottom. And here is the Feliz ornament, and I followed the same steps as I did with the Joy ornament. For this ornament, I'm going to use this Dollar Tree ornament, and this I used it in my previous video where I created Christmas trees out of some of these ornaments. So the first thing that I'm going to do is remove the top, and then I'm going to remove that plastic holder by just cutting it off. I'll also be using this twine as a hanger for my ornament, and what I'm going to do is just create a loop and then cutting it and knotting both strings together. Next, I'm going to put that end down the hole, and then I'm going to add some hot glue to hold it in place. I'm going to be covering that ornament using these mini pine cones from Dollar Tree. So I just want you to see up close that these cones have a little stem at the bottom, and so I'm going to go ahead and cut those little stems off because I need them to be flat on the bottom when I hot glue it onto my ornament. So I'm just going to continue with this process until I cover the entire ornament. And this is how it turned out so far. And I do want to show you up close that I did have to cut little tiny pine cones to fill in the spaces between the pine cones. I'm also going to be using some Mod Podge and also some glitter. And this glitter I purchased at Walmart. This is the iridescent glitter. This step is pretty basic. All I'm going to do is brush on some Mod Podge and then sprinkle some glitter all around my pine cone ornament. For this ornament, I'm going to be using this cardboard, and this came from another ornament that I had, and I had taken off the decorations that it had. I used what was in front of it. So I kept this, but what I'm going to do is just cut off that little piece of cardboard because I just want it to be just round and with no bumps anywhere. And I'll be covering that circle with some of this wrapping paper. So I'm going to start off by just adding small dots of hot glue around the circle and then placing my paper over it. And then cutting off the excess paper by just going around the circle. And then I went back in with some more hot glue, just making sure that I would seal the paper all around the circle. I'll be using some of these sticker words that say deck the halls. Now I purchased these at Dollar General. So once I cut them out, I went ahead and I put the words somewhere in the center of the circle. This is a great little hack if you don't have a Cricut or anything like that to create your own words. This works out fine. And once again, I'm going to be using some more of these vase fillers. So what I'm going to do is just add these little balls all around the circle and just frame it. Now this would look really nice with wood beads, but since I didn't have any, I opt with these little foam vase fillers. I mean, you still get the same look as you would with wood beads, except these have the gold color on them. So to me, it kind of doesn't matter. It's really your preference. So I'm going to be using some of this green glitter, and this is from Dollar Tree. I wanted to give this just a little sparkle. Don't ask me why I used green. I just thought that green might look pretty on here. So I'm going to just add a little bit of Mod Podge to the front of my ornament and then sprinkle the glitter. So here I'm just pointing out that I put too much glitter there and I didn't like how it looks, so I'm going to go ahead and add this little tiny brooch to it, and that'll cover that glitter error, if you will. Now for the hanger, I'm going to be using a piece of a garland tie that I cut. All I did was just shape it as a loop, and then I hot glued it to the back of my ornament. And then lastly, I'm going to be adding this gold ribbon bow that I had stored away. And I'm just going to hot glue it to the hanger up at the top. Now for this ornament, I'm going to use this Christmas tag from Dollar Tree. Using this black acrylic paint, I'm going to go ahead and paint the back side of the tag. I'm going to give it one coat of paint, let it dry, and then come back to it. For this ornament, I'm going to be using this black and white ribbon, and I purchased this at Walmart and it was $1 and change. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece of that ribbon, just enough so that it can go around the top of my tag. And I'm going to secure it by adding some hot glue on the back side. And using these same stickers from Dollar General, I'm going to go ahead and use the Merry and Bright stickers. And just place them there in front of my tag. And using that same ribbon, I'm going to go ahead and loop it and make it a hanger for my tag. And then using another little piece of the garland tie, I went ahead and I hot glued it there at the top. And now using some white vase fillers, I put some at the top as if they were white berries. For this ornament, I'm going to be using these Dollar Tree blocks from the tower game, and what I'm going to do is create a picture frame with them. So I'm going to use a total of 8 blocks, and I'm going to be hot gluing 2 of them together, which will give me a set of 4. And once I have my sets, then I'm going to start gluing them all together and it'll form a picture frame. I'm going to be using this Waverly Antique Wax, and this will serve as a stain for my wood. So I'm going to let it dry for a couple of hours before I come back and start working on it some more. I'm going to be using this craft paper that I purchased at Hobby Lobby a while back, and I'm basically going to do the same thing as I did with the gingerbread and the Christmas tree. I'm going to use it as a backing. I'm going to be hot gluing this small little wreath that came from a deer from a previous DIY that I did, and all I'm going to do is hot glue that in the center of my picture frame. I tell you, I don't throw away anything in case I may need it for future DIYs. Next, I'm just going to cut around my frame and just remove the excess paper. And I'll be using this ribbon to create a loop and use it as a hanger. And I'll also be using this Dollar Tree metallic marker in white, and I'm going to spell out Merry Christmas on the frame. For this ornament, I'm going to be using this Dollar Tree clear ornament, and it's the ones that are kind of oval and flat. Now, I want to try this new technique that I've been seeing everywhere on Instagram and TikTok. So I'm going to be using this podge cleaner, and you're going to be amazed how this is going to turn out. I'm also going to be using the red glitter from this Crafter's Square glitter set, and this comes from Dollar Tree. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is remove the top from my Christmas ornament, and I'm going to pour straight from the bottle into my ornament some of this podge floor cleaner, and I didn't put that much, as you can see, it's just a little bit. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is make sure that the entire inside of the ornament is covered with this floor cleaner. So what I'm doing is just moving the liquid around and just making sure that the inside is all covered with this liquid. So once I was confident that it was all covered, I went ahead and I spilled out the remainder of the liquid into a clear plastic bowl. And I just kind of let it sit there for a bit, just making sure everything would drain out. Next, I added the red glitter inside, and this was really fun and relaxing at the same time. So I used one of those vials, and then I ended up using a second one. And so what I'm doing here is just moving the glitter around and making sure that it covers the entire inside wall of the ornament, just like I did with the liquid. And once I thought it was all covered, I went ahead and I spilled out the remainder of the glitter. Once again, I'm going to be using this white metallic marker. And I'm going to write on my ornament, believe. I don't have the best handwriting, but I wanted it to be personalized by me personally writing this word on here. Now, you can also put some stickers if you find some that say whatever you'd like it to say. But I decided to handwrite it, and it looks okay, I think. And then I decided to also draw out some little snowflakes. Then I went in with some of this snow spray from Dollar Tree, and I just sprayed the bottom part of the ornament. And then using that same black and white ribbon, I created a bow and also a hanger for it. For this last ornament, I'm going to use another clear ornament from Dollar Tree, and I'm also going to use this black paint from Wrought. So I'm basically going to do the same thing as I did with the other ornament. I'm just going to pour in some paint instead of glitter, and I'm just going to move the paint around so that it can cover the inside of my ornament. The paint ended up being too thick to do this, so I ended up adding some water to it and thinning it out that way. So if you decide to do this project, be sure and thin out your paint some before that you pour it into your ornament. I'm also going to be using some of this faux snow from Dollar Tree. So what I'm going to do to this ornament is brush on some Mod Podge, as you see me do there, and then I'm going to sprinkle some of that faux snow on top. And to finish off this Christmas ornament, I went ahead and I used the black and white ribbon and I looped it as a hanger, and then I'm just going to add a bow.
Well, that's it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up because that really helps my channel and I truly appreciate that. Please try to give me at least 1,000 likes. I would totally really appreciate that. So remember, love, laugh, and create. Until my next video, bye-bye and God bless.